Alrighty, folks, it's that time of year again. I am starting my Become a Hero toy drive. Between now and December 20th, whenever you purchase any of my books, all of the proceeds and revenue will go towards buying toys for children this holiday season. If you are not interested in purchasing any of my books, that's okay. You can go ahead and make a direct donation to my PayPal account. All of the money we raise this season will be matched out of my own pocket, and this year I have a personal goal of raising $500, which means a total of $1,000 will be used to buy toys for children this holiday season. So I do hope you guys do take the time out of your busy, hectic holiday schedule and support this noble cause, and I do wish you guys a very happy holiday season. Will at Heroic Studios out. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Culture Shock, the show reminding you that Joe Biden has not been certified as president-elect yet. Yes, I'm bringing back this fact because it seems like a lot of people have forgotten. There is still a lot of litigation going on. There's still a lot of things happening right now, and there's a bit much going on that the media isn't going to cover for you. They're not covering it. They're actually going straight into COVID and what Joe Biden plans to do for COVID and covering for Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, but they're not talking about any of the litigation that is going on. So that's the top story of the day. I got another story going on with AOC opening up her own merch store. Yeah, that's weird. You know, for a socialist, she really likes to take advantage of the capitalism that we have here in America. And of course, there's a blue MAGA hat floating around, which 5 seconds ago I thought making America great was a bad thing. Like we were trying to bring people back to like the 1940s or something like that. I don't know, but apparently it's good. So we're going to get into all that. But first, please like and subscribe to the channel, folks. I'm looking at my statistics here and I'm seeing that a lot of you watching aren't subscribed to the channel. So if you're liking the content, if you're enjoying yourself, please hit that subscribe button, hit the like button on the video, share it out to your friends, because I am going to give you a lot of information concerning the voter irregularities, a lot of testimonies coming from poll workers today that I've been getting sent from you. And I've been analyzing them. So there's a lot to get to today. And I really want to get this out there that, you know, there's a lot happening with these voter irregularity. Is it enough to overturn the election? I don't know, but we need to get this out here because it's not about who is going to be president. At the end of the day, it's all about withholding and keeping our voter integrity. Because if we do not have our integrity to uphold elections, if our elections are flawed, then we don't have a republic anymore. And you're going to hear that exact line from Christina Caramo today on the show. And she kind of let Congress have it. It was actually pretty good. So going back to everything else, go ahead and like this video. Like I said, I also have my Discord server. I have my podcast. I have my Twitter feed, Facebook, all at Will at Heroic Studios. That's WILAT Heroic Studios. And one last thing before we get into today's show, my manga, Ultima The Legend Untold, is going to be launching January 10th. I've been working on this thing all year. I'm ready to drop issue number 1 for you guys. It's going to be exclusively on Webtoon, so please be on the lookout for that. All right, getting into the nitty-gritty. But before we get into that, I'm going to have our illustrious Commander-in-Chief give you guys a few words that is kind of going to segue into what we are about to talk about. So take it away, Mr. President.
Thank you. This may be the most important speech I've ever made. I want to provide an update on our ongoing efforts to expose the tremendous voter fraud and irregularities which took place during the ridiculously long November 3rd elections. We used to have what was called Election Day. Now we have election days, weeks and months, and lots of bad things happened during this ridiculous period of time, especially when you have to prove almost nothing to exercise our greatest privilege, the right to vote. As president, I have no higher duty than to defend the laws and the Constitution of the United States. That is why I am determined to protect our election system, which is now under coordinated assault and siege. For months leading up to the presidential election, we were warned that we should not declare a premature victory. We were told repeatedly that it would take weeks, if not months, to determine the winner, to count the absentee ballots, and to verify the results. My opponent was told to stay away from the election. Don't campaign. We don't need you. We've got it. This election is done. In fact, they were acting like they already knew what the outcome was going to be. They had it covered, and perhaps they did, very sadly for our country. It was all very, very strange. Within days after the election, we witnessed an orchestrated effort to anoint a winner, even while many key states were still being counted. The constitutional process must be allowed to continue. We are going to defend the honesty of the vote by ensuring that every legal ballot is counted and that no illegal ballot is counted. This is not just about honoring the votes of 74 million Americans who voted for me. It's about ensuring that Americans can have faith in this election and in all future elections.
Everything he said in that speech is true. It is not about who's going to win. If Joe Biden wins fair and square, great. If Trump won fair and square, great. What we want to do is maintain our voter integrity. We want to make sure that who we're voting for is who may or may not win. But I guess that wasn't the right way to put it. What I'm saying is that we should be able to believe in our electoral system. We shouldn't have to worry about if the election is rigged, if something's going to happen, if magical voting ballots pop up out of nowhere and just, make the candidate invalid. If there's a lot, and it was a lot happening, just like with 2016 when everyone's talking about Russia. Trump colluded with Russia in order to win the 2016 election. And then the Mueller report happened, investigation into that happened. And for 2 years, we were treated to all this evidence that would support that Trump colluded with Russia in order to get elected. And then when it turned out he didn't, Democrats went wild. So now people are still talking about Trump as being a big baby because he won't concede the election. But I remember Hillary Clinton telling Joe Biden, if he loses the election, do not concede. Let's be real. If this is other way around, if it's flipped, had Trump been known as the projected winner of the 2020 election, Joe Biden and the Democrats would be doing the same thing. They will be challenging the election. We will be seeing 2016 all over again. That is a fact. So please, folks, yes, there is still some litigation happening. Trump is well within his constitutional rights to do this. So please, let it in. If by December 14th, which I think that's when states are going to start certifying votes, and Joe Biden is projected to be the winner after all the lawsuits are done, great, fantastic, awesome. Whoever gets inaugurated on January 20th, that's a different story, okay? We're going to let that flow through because that's exactly what we need to kind of sort of focus on when it comes down to this. But there have been reports of voter irregularities all over the country. We're going to take a look at a lot of that stuff, especially from a woman named Christina Caramo. She was down in Michigan, and she has a lot to say. So please open your ears, listen to what she's saying, and keep in mind that these people that I'm going to show you are under oath while they're in these court hearings, meaning that if they lie, I think they signed something, an affidavit or something, that if they lie or whatever they're saying is not true, they could go to jail. But keep in mind that they are also under oath, which means these people, the courts that are hearing these hearings, that are hearing these testimonies, they need to take this extremely seriously. These are extremely hard-hitting accusations that these people are saying. And I think I was listening to Dave Rubin's podcast this morning, and they said that in the state of Michigan alone, well, I don't really remember the state, but in some of the states, that 40,000 people were found to have voted twice. 40,000. That's probably 80,000 votes. If you take 40,000 people and say they voted twice, it's 80,000 invalid votes. But we'll get into that later. Please listen to Christina Caramo.
I was a poll challenger at the TCF Center on Monday, November 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. On November 4th, early in the morning, I was standing at the adjudication table, and a ballot came across the screen. The ballot had a straight party ticket vote for both the Democrat and the Republican. It was a filled-in circle, which is an intentional mark. It's not a dash, it's not a dot. When the ballot came across the screen, there was no other marks. None of the judges and none of the other ballot proposals had been voted on. The poll worker then said, I think I'm going to give it to the Democrats. That's absolutely absurd. That is illegal. The vote should have been tossed out. At that moment, I said, absolutely not. I'm going to challenge this. So I go get her supervisor. And then her supervisor defers to her and says, well, what do you think? And I'm like, well, what do you think? It doesn't matter what you think. It's the law. Our feelings, our emotions, our thoughts are totally irrelevant. You follow the law. And that ballot is to be tossed out. But she wanted to give it to the Democrats. So then I go get the gentleman who was overseeing the entire absentee ballot counting process while Daniel Baxter was gone. So this gentleman's name I do not know. I go get him. He's overseeing the entire process while Daniel Baxter is gone. I ask him. He says to the girl, what do you think? It was disgusting. I was enraged, and I simply asked a question. I said, well, why not give it to the Republicans instead of the Democrats? The gentleman began screaming at me, began yelling at me, began telling me that I had no right to talk to her, and he told her to push the ballot through. And prior to that, that same poll worker, a ballot came across the adjudication screen where this voter had voted for Joe Biden and the Green Party presidential candidate, and she gave the vote to Joe Biden. I also saw the ballots show up in the middle of the night. Also, I inquired about the tabulation numbers from the tabulation machine between shift changes. I was denied that information. We saw a lot of irregular things. This is not an anomaly. Just because all of us have different accounts of what we saw, that doesn't make them invalid. And to expect Secretary Benson to actually do something about it is foolhardy. To accept Dan and Essel to do anything about it would be foolhardy. So we're appealing to you guys to do something about it. Because if our elections aren't fair, then we have no republic left. It's a banana republic. We have nothing. And we don't trust the election process. Why do you think a lot of people don't vote? Because they feel it's the big fraud.
What she's saying, what she is seeing is probably true. I'm hoping, I don't want to say that I'm hoping that it's true. I'm hoping that if these accusations are true, that it would be investigated. Like, these hearings are very important. Like, now that you've said this, you have to bring some type of evidence to the table. You just can't say it. And now the people who were involved in Christina's testimony are now being investigated for this. You just can't do that to a vote. If it is marked a certain way, I believe it becomes invalid. You have to throw it out. You just can't pick and choose. Oh, we're going to give it to the Democrats. Oh, we're going to give it to the Republicans. That's not how this works. And at the end, she said that, well, what if we give it to the Republicans? And then everyone flipped out because how dare you give something to the Republicans? That's not, how dare you? You know, so it's a lot to take in. It's a lot to kind of break through when it comes to this kind of stuff. And it is very, very kind of nerve-wracking to understand that a lot of these accusations, they're serious and it should be investigated. Again, I don't care who wins. I would prefer Trump wins, obviously, but if Biden won and he wins fair and square, so be it. Next 4 years, there's going to be a lot of content for me to be giving to you guys. But I would really like to make sure that our voter integrity is held in place, because if we don't have that, then we're living in a we're living in a country full of tyranny. That's what I'm gonna say. I can't say the word totalitarianism. Totalitarianism, draconian laws, all that stuff. That's what we're going to be doing if we don't do it, or if we don't do this right. This next chick, I think, was in, I don't know. I don't think the state was specified, but we should have more people like this, because she walked into this courtroom talking to who I'm assuming is Lex Luthor, because this dude looks exactly like Lex Luthor from freaking Smallville. But take a look.
That's not the case.
What did you guys do? Take it and do something crazy to it?
I'm just saying the numbers are not off by 30,000 votes. So
I know what
are you
I
saying
saw.
that they're filling in?
I know what I saw, and I signed something saying that if I'm wrong, I can go to prison.
Okay.
Did you?
Okay,
I'm just trying to.
And she is absolutely right. Just like I said it before, they signed a piece of paper stating that if they're lying, they're going to go to jail. So why would you risk coming to these court hearings, not telling the truth about what you actually saw, what you heard? You know, it doesn't make sense. So I like her demeanor. She's just like doesn't give a fuck at all. It's actually pretty funny. Just looking at her, listening to what she's saying to this dude, and the guy he doesn't really know how to take it. He doesn't really know how to respond, and to me it's the funniest one. But I'm hoping what she's saying is true. I'm hoping what she kind of brought to the table. Now, I don't know if this is the whole clip. I know it's more out there, but this is the one that's been circulating around Twitter for days now. And it finally got my attention. So She said, like, yeah, what are you going to do with the votes? What are you going to do? I signed this affidavit. If I lie, I'm going to jail. So I don't know if she's just like doesn't really have much to lose, so she's just said, fuck it, I'm just going to say whatever I want. But I think there's probably a little truth to what this woman is saying. Next up, we got a lot of like hidden cameras and stuff like that, like CCTV footage of people bringing out ballots from someplace and counting them after hours. Now, I listened to people critique this clip a lot. Some people are saying that the workers were not told to go home. They left voluntarily, and then some people stay behind to continue counting the votes. I don't know. I was under the impression that if they stopped counting, you stopped counting, because there have been times that I went to bed and then the numbers were one thing, and then I woke up the next day and they were completely different. So if they stopped counting the votes, why are we seeing increases of numbered ballots overnight? That doesn't make sense. This is exactly what this footage would suggest. So please take a look.
These machines can process about 3,000 ballots an hour. You have multiple machines there, and they're there for 2 hours. So you do the math. How many ballots went through those machines in those 2 hours when there was no one there to supervise, to be present, consistent with your statutes and rules, to supervise the tabulation? We believe that could easily be, and probably is certainly, beyond the margin of victory in this race.
And it's very hard to see what they're pulling out, but the commentator on this is stating that they're pulling a suitcase full of ballots from under a desk and they're counting them well into the night. Now, I don't know if that's true, but it doesn't look very good. It doesn't look very good at all. And I think this is in Georgia. So that will explain why Georgia was red for 3 days and then boop, turned blue, I think the last day of the election week. So it doesn't look very good. The CCTV footage doesn't look very good. I don't really know what to make of it myself, but I mean, the woman in the video is explaining what's going on. Just like this next video, and this one doesn't have any audio, so I'm just going to kind of play it over and you can see what's going on. So right now we have, I would assume, a poll worker, and she is taking something off the desk and kind of hiding it, kind of fiddling, I don't know what the word is, I'm not even going to try it, but she's taking whatever this thing is. Some people think it's a flash drive full of votes, one of the cards that you take in and you record your votes, and she's taking it, she's trying to hide it in her hand, and she gets up and walks away from the table with another poll worker, and this was in Georgia. So we haven't got confirmation on what this was. It's been floating around Twitter around the same time as all these other videos. So if I'm not saying that this is a voter irregularity, I'm not saying that this is fraud. What I'm saying is it looks suspicious and it should be investigated. That's all I'm saying. Like, you have this woman's face on the camera, go and ask questions. All right. So there's a lot happening here with these voter irregularities. There are hearings happening in Arizona, Michigan, Wisconsin, and I think in Georgia and Pennsylvania. And I don't really know the status of those lawsuits, but Rudy Giuliani is really trying to do his best to overturn this election. Will he do it? I don't know. Like, it's kind of hard to tell. But I mean, judging by these voter irregularities that I just showed you, and these testimonies coming from poll workers from all across the country, especially in those big major swing states, there's a lot to be determined here. And like I said, the election still isn't over. It still isn't over. And honestly, if all this checks out with these voter irregularities and if what Christina Caramo said was true, then a lot of these votes can be thrown away, which means it would disenfranchise a lot of people, and that would make a lot of people mad. Honestly, it is what it is. It'll go to the Supreme Court if it turns out to be that way. All right. So that is my update to you on this voter regularity stuff, on this voter fraud, all this nonsense coming together. We would just have to wait and see what the courts decide. All right. Now, for a little fun, because I always like to have fun with this particular congresswoman, AOC has decided to open up her store, her merch shop. Not only does this woman get paid $175,000 a year to do absolutely nothing and just say stupid shit all day, but now she has the nerve to open up a merchandise store after bashing how bad capitalism is. She has stated in numerous interviews that she is a democratic socialist. What is a democratic socialist? basically just a socialist who's a Democrat, because I've never heard of a conservative Democrat or a not conservative Democrat. I haven't heard of that either. A conservative socialist or a Republican socialist. So any type of word in front of socialist just means you're a socialist. But hey, guess what? Doesn't really matter if you're a Democrat, because you can just take advantage of the capitalism system and still bash capitalism, saying you're a socialist while benefiting off the benefits of capitalism. Don't you just love how that works? So let's go take a look at her merch store and see how insane this woman is trying to charge people for her merchandise. All right, so am I recording? Damn it, I can never tell. I guess I'm recording. I just edited it out. All right, so here we go. Here's her, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, Democrat for Congress, New York District 14. This is insane. She has a merch store. Is it okay for Congress people to have a merch store? I guess it's okay if Donald Trump is still making money off of his hotels and real estate. So I guess it's good. But let's take a look at this merch store, because I'm baffled at the audacity this woman has with her bashing of capitalism, and she goes and opens a merch store. Let's see. This sweatshirt here, tax the rich, $58. She's charging you $58 for this plain old 90s t-shirt that says tax the rich. Are you shitting me? If she's really for the people, she should know that $58 is more than half of a working day's wage for most people. But she's charging $58 for this raggedy ass sweatshirt. You gotta be kidding me. The Green New Deal. These shirts are $27. There's nothing special about these shirts. You can fucking go on Amazon. Hell, you can probably go to Teespring and make a shirt and get this for $10. Like, okay, it's American made, but I guess the reason why this shirt is $58 is because it's made in America. I mean, the quality might be better, but I mean, $58? Like, no one's gonna pay $58 for this raggedy ass sweatshirt. It doesn't even look appealing. No one's gonna do that shit. A hoodie, $65, and it's unisex, so it's gender neutral. $65. So this ugly ass hoodie with this sweater is about what, $8 more? $7 more. The only difference is that it has a fucking hood. Oh God, give me a break. Drink water and don't be racist. What does that even mean? What does that even mean? I don't understand. How is that even a thing? Don't drink water and don't be racist? That's AOC plus me. Yeah, I don't want to be plus with you anywhere. My God, this woman is insane. She's absolutely crazy. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, I guess this is the pride tee here. I mean, look at this. Who wears a sweatshirt like this? $58. What's the shipping on this thing? I wouldn't buy any of this. This is all just horrible. Just horrible. I don't even know what's on page 2, but I guess we're gonna find out. Oh, more shirts. The hell is this? Green New Deal illustration tee. I think that looks like AOC standing on a cliff like she's Pocahontas. The Green New Deal. Oh my God. Social, economic, and racial justice. You're going to have to explain to me what that actually entails, but I'm not paying $65 for this stupid ass hoodie. There's probably people who will pay that money too. And I'm like, nah, I'm okay. Future, fight for our future, $40. This is the cheapest hoodie. And I don't know why it's $40. Maybe the slogans have something to do with how it's priced. I don't know. Clean water for all. I don't know if you know this, AOC, but most of us have clean water here in America. But yeah, there's that. Drink water and don't be racist. Why is this $58? Ugh. Well, that's AOC's store. If you want to go and pick something up, hashtag not sponsored, I would highly advise against it, because you can get a lot of stuff a lot better quality and a lot better price than what AOC is proposing on her website. This is, my God, the lack of self-awareness with these people is just astounding. You're socialists, you don't like capitalism, but you're using capitalism to make money, and then talking about how bad capitalism is because you're a socialist. That's what a lot of these socialist people are. Bernie Sanders is the same thing. If you want to make money, write a book. But you're a socialist. You can't capitalize on writing a book that goes against everything you believe as a socialist. Yeah, Carlos Maz is another one. He's another rich boy from the suburbs, fed with a silver spoon, and he's talking about socialism too. This is insane. This is absolutely insane. Well, you know what? That's enough for this, because I'm losing brain cells over it. That's completely insane. How do you even do that? I don't. Maybe I should make some merchandise for you guys, and we go from there. I'll make better merchandise in AOC. If I can get to 1,000 subscribers on my YouTube channel, I will start making merchandise. Maybe something like this for you guys. I know it's copywritten, but maybe it'll be like Red Conservative or something. I don't know, but I can do a lot better than AOC. That's for sure. All right. Last story today comes from Twitter, and I saw this today, and I can just tell you right now that not only can the left not meme, but they have no creative talents everywhere. Yes, I'm talking about the blue MAGA hats. There are blue MAGA hats. Now, for the last 4 years, we were told that the MAGA hats were the new white hood of the KKK. They were the worst. If you said "Make America Great Again," that was insinuating that you wanted to take America back to slavery days, to where African Americans were in chains and oppressed, and women couldn't vote, and it was the dark days. That's what we were told, because 5 minutes ago that was the thing. But now that Democrats are doing it, apparently it's okay to say MAGA. But it's not MAGA as in "Make America Great Again." It is "Made America Already Great." But 5 seconds ago, you were saying that America was never great. So I really don't understand what it is you're trying to do here. I don't. You can't come up with anything original. A red MAGA hat, "Make America Great Again." You make a blue MAGA hat, "Made America Already Great." This is getting, y'all can't meme, you can't be creative, you can't come up with your own insults. I had someone say, "Fuck your feelings" today. I'm like, that's what we say to you. That's what we've been saying to you for 4 years. Like, come up with your own insults. Just come up with your own shit. It doesn't really make sense that you're just using shit that conservatives have said to you the last 4 years, and you're turning it on us. It really doesn't make the impact any better. So I really don't understand why you think that we're just going to be, my feelings. Oh God, he said, "Fuck my feelings. I'm going to go cry and protest." Let me just tell you that of the 70 million people who voted for Trump, not one of them have gone out and burned down a city. That's a fact. That's a fact. So let's get into this stupid ass story, because to me it's retarded. All right, who is the man behind those blue MAGA hats? All righty, here we go. We talked to Miami Beach-based entrepreneur behind polarizing Made America Great Already apparel line to find out. This is coming from entrepreneur.com, writer Kenny Herzog. I don't know who that is. If you logged on to Twitter this morning, you may have noticed the phrase "blue MAGA" trending and run for the hills. I'm sorry, did I say that wrong? If you logged into Twitter this morning, you may have noticed the phrase "blue MAGA" trending and run for the hills. I think you mean ran for the hills. If you logged into Twitter this morning, you may have noticed the phrase "blue MAGA" trending and ran for the hills. It's ran, Kenny. Ran for the hills. You need to check. Look at this fucker. Look at him. Like, pseudo-intellectual. Can't even write a fucking article right. Ran for the hills, Kenny. Jesus. Or like us, you indulge your curiosity and click through, surprised to find out that people were polarized over a fledgling apparel brand subverting President Trump's "Make America Great Again" mantra by selling blue hats stitched with the phrase "Made America Great Already." Let me just get this out in the open and make one point clear. The whole idea that "Make America Great" was a slogan meant for racism and white supremacy was dubbed by the media and pushed by them. No one saying "Make America Great Again" had that intention or even that kind of idea in mind. That was the media who took that slogan, twisted it to make Trump look like he was the head of the white supremacy gang, and threw it out there for you guys to believe that if you say "Make America Great Again," that means you're trying to take us back to the 1920s where women couldn't vote and segregation was still a thing and black people were getting lynched by the KKK. That's not what that means. All right, shut up, kill yourself. A succession of critical tweets from far-left influencers espousing thoughts like, "We already have blue MAGA. It's called not being MAGA." Bought then less than 2-year-old company dubbed naturally Made America Great Again, LLC, into the fold overnight, both inflaming ideological debate and naturally boosting sales. In fact, as company president and CEO Samson Deruvala, that sounds like something out of fucking Dark Souls. Deruvala confirmed in a call earlier today with Entrepreneur, they experienced their biggest surge in orders yet. But Deruvala, a Miami Beach-based senior advisor, chief at the Federal Emergency Management Agency, never intended to incite hostilities one way or the other. And he's, in fact, an avid Joe Biden supporter. I mean, no shit. The company's official Twitter handle is at Biden Harris Hats. Again, no shit. No shit that they will make a hat to mock Trump's slogan, Make America Great Again, and make it blue. Just the hat being blue just sort of kind of says it all. So his aspiration was, as he tells it, twofold. Explore a potential retail startup idea while broadcasting his particular patriotic message, which I guess, you can't blame the man. He found the need, he filled it, and he's capitalizing off of it. So yay for capitalism. I think it's a stupid idea, but hey, man, if you're making money off of it, kudos to you. Good job. We pressed the 47-year-old FEMA staffer and side hustler on the germ of his idea, potential professional consequences, adapting his salesmanship to changing circumstances and making the most of Made America Great already moment in social media crosshairs. This is a very long article. I'm gonna go through it a little bit more, but you guys can go into the description and read some more on your own. I, link everything in my description. So here's one of the questions. At what point did you decide that, despite your being a government employee, you were going to launch a side business that took such a partisan slant? Partisan, not bipartisan, partisan. Charlottesville. Oh, here we go. When Trump said there were good people on both sides, no, you didn't watch the rest of the clip. The media cut that off on you on purpose. If you go back and watch the actual clip, Trump actually said there were good people on both sides, and I quote, I am not talking about the neo-Nazis and the white supremacists. That's what he said. That's what he said. You've been fed a lie. This whole hat you made is on a lie. That's when I started kicking my heels. The other catalyst was when he wouldn't denounce white supremacy. That is also a lie because he's denounced it numerous times. You know what? I'm just going to play the video.
We are a country that stands united in condemning hate and evil in all of its very ugly forms. The anti-Semitic threats targeting our Jewish community and community centers are horrible and are painful, and a very sad reminder of the work that still must be done to root out hate and prejudice and evil. About the neo-Nazis and the white nationalists, because they should be condemned totally. We condemn in the strongest possible terms this egregious display of hatred, bigotry, and violence. It has no place in America. Racism is evil, and those who cause violence in its name are criminals and thugs, including the KKK, neo-Nazis, white supremacists, and other hate groups that are repugnant to everything we hold dear as Americans. Those who spread violence in the name of bigotry strike at the very core of America. Love for America requires love for all of its people. When we open our hearts to patriotism, there is no room for prejudice, no place for bigotry, and no tolerance for hate. We have it in our power, should we so choose, to lift millions from poverty, to help our citizens realize their dreams, and to ensure that new generations of children are raised free from violence, hatred, and fear. We want our country to be a place where every child from every background can grow up free from fear, innocent of hatred, and surrounded by love, opportunity, and hope. There must be no tolerance for anti-Semitism in America or for any form of religious or racial hatred or prejudice. We must never ignore the vile poison of anti-Semitism or those who spread its venomous creed. With one voice, we must confront this hatred anywhere and everywhere it occurs. We forcefully condemn the evil of anti-Semitism and hate, which must be defeated. In one voice, our nation must condemn racism, bigotry, and white supremacy.
There, he said it. He denounced it on numerous occasions. There it is, in the open. Shut up. You don't know what you're talking about. I was also living in Alexandria, Virginia at the night of the Lafayette Square protest, where they unloaded on those great Americans fulfilling their rights and common duty to let their voices be heard. I was 2 minutes up the road when that happened. It's been a gathering storm. You also clearly saw an entrepreneur opening. What was the calculation there like? Now, this is kind of where I like, where'd you get the idea? Because this is actually pretty a good idea in terms of making money. The idea itself is stupid, but hey, man, you made it work for you. That was simple. My mom's African-American, my dad's Persian, from Mumbai. We grew up not having everything, so we learned early on to take whatever is meant to us, whatever is meant to hurt us or harm us, and flip it for our good. I guess that's a good mantra, so to speak. But it is what it is. We have a history of greatness in this country, and we should not ignore. You need to tell that to the last 4 years of the media telling us that our country was never great, and maybe tell that to AOC because she thinks our country is great. Maybe Ilhan Omar, Rashida Tlaib, Ayanna Pressley, Barack Obama. They all think our country's shit. So why don't you go tell that to them? Because they don't seem to believe what you believe. But you are voting for them, so there's that. When I think about my grandfather, who was a shoe shiner, making a nickel a shine and putting all his kids through college, it's pretty amazing. I make really good money in the government. I make really good money as a day trader, and now I make really good money selling these hats. And the best part is we donate 10% of our proceeds to college scholarships and military families in need. That's good. That's a good way to put your money. I like it. You're a government worker. It's good. If you guys want to go ahead and read the rest of this article, have at it. I'm not going to go through the whole thing. The link will be in the description. And that is it. So, guys, I do hope you did enjoy this episode of Culture Shock. There's a lot going on this week, and I told you I would be making more videos as much as possible. So here I am. I gave you guys 2 videos this week, with a third one coming with the unboxing of my Hasbro Lightning Collection Power Rangers Morpher. So I hope you guys do enjoy that. It'll be up tomorrow. So, guys, that is it for me. I am Will at Heroic Studios. I do hope you enjoyed this episode of Culture Shock. Be sure to subscribe to the channel, like it, share it out to people. Follow me on Twitter, Facebook, find me in Discord, as well as I think I'm on Rumble too. If you guys know what that is, it's basically like an alternative to YouTube, because YouTube sucks with this. They suck with their freaking policies and terms and conditions and whatever. But follow me across all social media, Will at Heroic Studios, and I will see you guys there. If you guys have anything interesting to show me, please send it to me on any of those social media platforms, and I will be sure to look at it. You guys enjoy your weekend. Will at Heroic Studios out.